G'day Plantifyers, Jess here and welcome back to the garden. Today it's a little update on what I've been growing this month, July 2025. So it is midwinter, although the colder days are starting to get a little bit warmer now and the garden's starting to tell me that spring, well, our version of spring is here. Alice has been spending plenty of time with us out in the garden, either on her lead or trapped in the bamboo house. You can see everything is growing really well, particularly the nasturtiums are kind of going off a little bit at the moment. I'm definitely going to have to prune them back sooner rather than later because they have been basically taking over the bamboo house at this stage, and I need to make some room for some spring crops in the next month, things like cucumbers, etc. But it's great to see the pollinators out and about as the weather starts to warm up again. Lots of things flowering. I just let my, herbs go to flower because I like to feed the pollinators. We've been gathering some fruits from the garden. The strawberries are fruiting at the moment. These are alpine strawberries, so they're super tiny and super delicious, but it's kind of hard to get a meal out of them because they are so small. You need a lot of them to get enough for more than a mouthful or a handful. But I've got them dotted around the place, so I just wander around and see what's ripe over a few days and pick a handful or a bowlful, or I just eat them straight off the plant as well. Sometimes when there's just a couple, it's easy just to nom on them as you're wandering around the garden. I do have some regular strawberries as well, which we've started to get a little bit off, but there's a bunch more coming on now, which is fantastic. So I'm looking forward to that. The last of the citrus has been picked and eaten, and we got our weird midwinter crop of eggplants. I don't quite know what that was about, but we've eaten or frozen those now. And our first crop of bananas has finally ripened up, and we've managed to freeze a whole bunch of that as well. The tomatoes are all growing really well. These are some babies from a few weeks ago. Now I've decided to net some of the tomatoes and not others because I'm curious to see at what point the fruit fly kind of becomes a problem, because I haven't seen any evidence of any yet at this time of year. So, but I don't want to lose my whole tomato crop to fruit fly if it gets hot and they emerge. So I decided to kind of do a mix of bagging some of the tomatoes, the earlier ones that are coming on now, and then just leaving a couple open as well and see what happens with that. So I've been using these organza bags this time around. I bought them in bulk from somewhere, and I managed to get these sort of green tinged ones, which I really like because it kind of just blends in with the plants and it doesn't stand out like white ones or another color do, and that just to my eye looks more pleasant in the garden, so it's not really obvious that you've got netted bags all throughout the place. So these ones up at the house are growing really nicely. We've got some Romas and some other beefsteaky variety. The ones down the back in the vine garden are doing well as well. I've got a whole bunch down there. Some of the tomatoes aren't looking so clever, but most of them are looking okay. So we'll see what sort of crops I get out of those. The ones in the grow bags versus the ones in the pots versus the ones I've got in the ground here as well. So I've just been keeping my eye on them and giving the flowers a little flick to help them pollinate, to make sure I get as many tomatoes as possible. And this is, I think, a Madagascar bean that I've got growing on the big trellis in the vine garden. So that has started to fruit now, and there's actually a lot of beans on that vine now, so that's exciting. I've not grown that before. I'm looking forward to seeing how it pans out and how many beans I actually get off of this vine. But it does go a little bit mad, so I have to kind of get out there and help it along as I go. There's also some young berries. I don't know if you can see them there, kind of dying off a little bit because of the winter. I'm not sure if they fruit on second or first year canes. I need to look that up to see if I can prune it back or not. The chaos flower garden's going well, and the new no dig garden is growing nicely. If you missed my video last week where I showed you us planting this out, and the week before we showed you how we are growing it all, those are available on my channel. This big bed in the middle is green manure. whereas the rest of it is a lot of Asian greens and winter veg that are growing, and they're really happy at the moment, which is awesome. And we're eating a lot. As you can see, there's a lot of greens, so we're having a lot of salads, we're having a lot of spinach. We eat omelettes a lot, so we just cook the spinach down and put it in our omelettes, which is fantastic. It's also been a time to, take some seeds. So this is the remnants of my butterfly pea flower vine that I've taken most of it off, but you can see I left this bit at the top because I wanted to let the seed pods dry out. But they were getting to the point where if I left them much longer, they were going to start bursting open. I didn't want that, so I had to pull all of this down and make space on this trellis for the next crop. We actually have a crop of mammoth melting snow peas on one side of this trellis. I didn't film that, but that's almost ready to fruit, which is fantastic. So I've got lots and lots of butterfly pea flower seeds, the blue ones. So if you're in the region and you come along to a swap that I'm at, usually the glasshouse swap, I will definitely have some of these the next time I show up at a swap meet. We have also been putting in some new fruit trees. This I'm very excited about. I bought some low chill cherry varieties from Daly's Fruit Nursery. So these are, I got 2 of them, and both of the trees actually have 2 different varietals on the one tree. So you can see here they kind of cross-pollinate on the one tree, Mini Royal and Royal Crimson, and these apparently fruit in the subtropics, which I really hope is true because cherries are like one of my favorite fruits, but traditionally they don't grow here. So I'm very excited to see if these do grow and give us fruit. You can see they're already budding, and we've put one up here near the house that we're going to keep pruned small, and it works here because in winter obviously they lose their leaves, so it's not going to block the winter sunlight which comes from behind where I'm standing right now. But in the summer, when the sun's right above us, it's not going to be a problem. And this is from just today. We planted it a few weeks ago, and you can see it's already coming to life, which is really exciting, bursting into new leaves. And we've got our turkey barrier around that to stop them from digging it up. So we went on a bit of a planting spree in the orchard, and we planted the other cherry, but also a bunch of stuff we had in pots. So we planted some pomelos I'd grown from seed. We planted some chocolate pudding fruit that I got at a swap. I planted my Atherton raspberry in the ground finally, and various other things. So you can see that we, try to do the sort of suppress the grass by using cardboard, and then we put chicken wire or wire around the trees to protect them from the wildlife, which is very necessary here. And then we did go ahead and mulch these with tip mulch as well, which I don't think I've filmed for this video, but yeah, so that's really nice. We've mulched all of our fruit trees this month because they're all about to, kind of come back to flower. Also, progress on the pond. I went to the Queensland Garden Show and got myself a whole bunch of fantastic aquatic plants to put in the pond. And the only thing left to do now is to get some fish, some Pacific blue eyes to put in here to keep the mosquitoes under control. So that is the next stage, and once we've done that, I'm going to do a whole video finally on this pond build. It's been a long time happening, a few months it's taken us to get to this point, but that's coming up on the channel soon, so make sure to subscribe if you want to see how we've put that together. Another huge job this month has been repotting like over 100 pot plants from inside and on the veranda. We actually went to the landscaping place and just got a trailer full of potting mix because there's no way we were going to get this done with just bags of potting mix. So that was an epic thing, and again I'm planning on doing a whole video on this very soon. I filmed it all and showed you some repotting techniques and so on and so forth, so that's coming up on the channel soon too. But for now, that is what's growing this month in our little garden. Thank you so much for visiting Serenity Valley with me, and I will catch you again in the next video. Bye for now.